Yo, 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 it's D.Arthur in the building. I'm talking to you guys today about why a little higher attractive quality woman will submit to you while you're on retention. And also why the elites want you to jerk off. Now, when you go on semen retention, you'll start realizing that you'll definitely get more looks from women. Also, people in very higher authoritative positions that are above you, they might start to even comply with you or maybe even submit to you while you're on retention. This is the reason, because once you go on retention, anybody who is quote unquote a leader, they're usually on retention too. And two people who are on retention, they usually can sense each other's energy pretty precisely. And there might be this thing called a mutual respect for each other when two people who are on retention. Now, the difference is, if a man who isn't on retention and a man who is on retention, there might be some sort of condescending type of attitude towards that person, because they don't have the extra energy and the testosterone that they accumulated. So they're basically not their ideal self yet. And anybody who isn't their ideal self yet will tend to submit to people who are more dominant than them. This is just how it goes. Now, higher quality women will start submitting to you while you're on retention, because in the game of attraction, and in the game of attraction, you start realizing that a lot of guys shoot their shots. A lot of guys shoot their shots when it comes to women. A lot of guys can shoot their shot, but the man who is a little bit different than the rest usually tends to squeak out and become the victor, because a highly attractive woman has plenty of options, and there's guys who are submitting to her just because of her looks on a 24/7 basis. But the man who is on retention, who has purpose, who has charisma, who is detached from the outcome, who has an energy of non-neediness, usually is the man who can woo any woman that he wants. Is a man who can woo any woman that he really wants, because he has the X factor. He has the unseen advantage than most guys have, because a lot of guys like to relapse, and then it's the end, and then they start over, and then their life kind of stays in the same place, and they start submitting to outside circumstances instead of being intentional about their lives. Now, the reason why elites, people in a higher position, want you to relapse is because they want to take advantage of you. When it comes down to it, they want to take advantage of you. They want you to be an obedient slave. They want you to be very dependent on them. This might be in your employment. The more you spill your most potent energy, the more you're gonna be very submissive. You're gonna let testosterone, and you're gonna let people kind of control you. You're gonna let women control you if you relapse consistently. This is not a joke. I know people who relapse consistently, and they're always in the fear consciousness. They always have a victim mentality. They always talk about their L's and how they can't overcome things. And their life is more of a rewind than a fast forward to the point, if you get what I mean. The elite, the top people in this world want you to relapse. They want you to masturbate. They want you to be on PMO. They want you to submit to authority. But let's take it back for an example. Do you think in, let's say, Civil War days, if ancestors, if slaves were to utilize PMO and masturbate, do you think they would have won the war? Do you think the people who fought in the Civil War would have won the war? Probably not, because once you retain your semen and you realize how powerful and how capable that you can actually become and how much power you actually have in your life, you start harvesting it and preserving it like it's like your life depends on it. And that's usually what happens. Once you feel the power, once you start feeling the power of how capable you can become and how many of your dreams can actually become into fruition, you don't want to let it go. But nobody wants to have this power and transmute it because they might be afraid of, they put too much roadblocks. They put too much roadblocks. People who don't put the work in usually are the ones who are giving the excuses. They're usually the ones who are conveying defeat. They're usually the ones who are never happy. They're usually the ones who are always negative. They usually are the ones who are letting opportunities pass them like clockwork. And they're usually the ones who are never getting anywhere. But when you retain, when you work on yourself, when you consistently meditate, when you exercise, when you take cold showers, when you read books, all of that energy starts transmutating through everything, through your entire body. It starts going up to your higher chakras, your bloodstream, your legs, your muscles, and you start mimicking a divine presence in reality. You start developing a higher level of thinking. You start developing a higher consciousness, meaning all of the things that may have were very spectacular to you at first when you relapse, they don't seem to be as valuable anymore. You start realizing that life is a little bit fragile, and you should start taking it with a little bit more care, because you can actually get somewhere if you consistently put in the work. Consistently. Not just one day or 2 months, but consistent work will actually help you get to where you want to be. Now, the elites don't want you to know this. The elites want you to be suppressed. The elites want you to be poor. The elites want you to be dependent on them. The elites want you to be dependent on a check from the government. They don't want you to think for yourself. They don't want you to think outside the box. They don't want to tell you what's possible and what isn't possible. They want you to do the same things and stay the same and not get ahead. And if you decided to relapse, you're going to stay the same. You're going to have outside circumstances control your life. You're going to have a fear and victim mentality. You're not going to get where you really want to be. You're going to be swayed by the opinions of others. You're going to be swayed by the presence of a woman. You're going to be a beta cuck if you keep relapsing. You're going to be a very shallow version of yourself. But when you retain, higher quality women will start submitting to you, because women can sense energy from a mile away. They can sense if a man is real or not, or if he's faking it from a mile away. Energy never lies. Energy presents itself way before you even introduce yourself. People can tell what your priorities are, what you're really about, who you are, and who you're becoming before you even. As soon as you step into the room, they know who you are. They know if you're about your business or you're just faking it. They know if you're about purpose or you're just faking it. They know if you're becoming who you really want to be or you're just passing by and letting life control how you act. So yeah, when you go on retention, you start realizing your true power, you start harvesting true energy, and you start becoming the best version of yourself, even if the circumstances doesn't look like it can dictate what you really want. So yeah, retain, and you'll have a very attractive women submit to you instead of submitting to them. And the higher elites, the people who are in a very authoritative position, they'll start realizing that this man isn't a fake, and he's someone to be respected. But the choice is yours, the life is yours. I'm just a messenger. So like, comment, and subscribe below. We will see you in the next video.